Nicki recorded that at the freak off in the Calabasas. She been waiting to drop that shit on Meek.
Oh, man.
She just wasn't going to tell nobody it was Diddy. But now that Diddy out there, why not?
Freak Off tape featuring Meek Mill and Diddy. This all started when Nicki claimed that someone from her own team was secretly paid off to poison her. She didn't mention who was behind it, but she took to Twitter and spilled all the details about how she figured out they were trying to take her out. At first, it seems like Nicki Minaj's life could really be at risk after she allegedly got exposed for leaking. That lot of people thought it was just more powerful industry people trying to scare her into silence again. But now the talk is that this is actually happening because she's the one who leaked that tape, and Diddy's people are now out to get her before she talks too much. Nicki used to be managed by Diddy when she was first starting out, but she dropped him after only 6 months because he allegedly tried to involve her in his freak-off parties. If anyone knows Diddy's dark secrets, it's definitely her, and now it's clear he's trying to clean up his mess before his court case begins. And in case you missed it, Meek Mill got exposed a while back for allegedly being Diddy's boy toy, supposedly getting his back blown out with Johnson's baby oil while he was still with Nicki. This came back into the spotlight after music producer Lil Rod filed a lawsuit against Diddy and exposed Meek and Usher for attending the freak-offs. Even though Lil Rod didn't name them directly, the clues made it obvious. He mentioned a Philly rapper who used to date Nicki and an R&B singer with a Vegas residency who also performed at the Super Bowl. It wasn't hard to put together. Meek dated Nicki from 2015 to 2017, and Usher just finished both of those events. Of course, Meek was blindsided by this and completely spiraled on Twitter, posting a bunch of wild tweets where he said he'd destroy any celebrity who tried him and accused black blogs of trying to ruin his name. He said they'd literally have to kill him to take him down, and even then, he'd only grow more famous after death. He also claimed no man had ever offered him drugs or freaky stuff because he's too respected for that, and nobody would even dare. But while he was having a breakdown online, a disturbing audio clip allegedly of him getting his cheeks clapped by Diddy leaked, and the internet was traumatized. The screams in that audio were honestly horrifying, like Meek was barely holding on, and everybody who heard it was in shock. Before I even play that clip for y'all, I have to warn you, you're probably never going to look at Meek Mill the same way again. And y'all remember that clip of Diddy hyping Meek up, talking about how he was really putting in that work? Word on the street is that Diddy actually made that video praising Meek after clapping him with like 20 bottles of Johnson's baby oil. Anyway, back to that leaked audio tape. At first, everybody thought Diddy's ex-bodyguard was behind it because he posted a whole video breaking down how he supposedly recorded it. According to him, the audio was captured during one of Diddy's freak-off parties a few years ago. He claimed he overheard some weird noises, went to check it out by leaning up against the door, and that's when he realized Meek was getting worked over by Diddy, so he decided to record it for proof. But here's the plot twist. According to Jaguar Wright, it was actually Nicki Minaj who recorded that audio herself, and she paid off the ex-bodyguard to take the fall so nobody could trace it back to her. Jaguar claimed Nicki secretly recorded it back when she was still dating Meek, and that this was the real reason she broke things off with him. Jaguar even exposed the exact spot where that freak-off went down that night. She said Nicki didn't drop the audio earlier because she was terrified Diddy would retaliate, but now that all of Diddy's dirty secrets are blowing up, Nicki finally decided it was time to let the truth out. Back then, a lot of people thought Jaguar was just making things up for attention, but now that someone literally tried to take Nicki out by poisoning her food, it's clear Jaguar was telling the truth the whole time. And to make it even crazier, Nicki herself has actually dropped hints in the past that suggested Meek might be on the DL, but nobody ever imagined he was really getting clapped by Diddy all along. Way back in 2019, when folks were dragging her for marrying Kenneth Petty, she snapped on them for pushing her to date these so-called industry men and said she would never go for another rapper again because they're all secretly DL gay. And let's not forget, this was right after she broke up with Meek. And just about a year ago, when Nicki was on Live with Soulja Boy, she brought up those DL rumors again out of nowhere. She randomly asked Soulja Boy if he could name some of the DL rappers in the industry, and it low-key felt like she was waiting for him to call out a certain somebody by name. A lot of folks believe that the name she was really fishing for was Meek. But this is where things start getting even crazier, because back in 2021, Nicki announced she was working on a documentary for HBO Max. This documentary was supposed to cover her entire journey, from the start of her career all the way up to now, and it was going to include never-before-heard details about her toxic relationship with Meek and the real reason she fell out with Diddy back when he used to manage her. Yep, you heard that right. Diddy was actually managing Nicki early on in her rise to superstardom, but she ended up firing him just a few months in. Nicki was fully ready to spill the whole story in that documentary, but before she could even lock in a release date, both Diddy and Meek reportedly hit her with a cease and desist, demanding that she take out any content involving them. Even with all that effort to shut her up, Nicki allegedly went ahead and leaked that tape anyway, exposing Meek as DL, and she's kept calling out the industry ever since. And now, it seems like they're trying to take her out by having someone poison her food. Nicki revealed all this just a few days ago when she posted a photo of her delivery order in a brown bag that had "We love you, Barb" written across it. Nicki questioned how the people making her food could have even known who it was for, unless someone on her team was feeding them that info to set her up. She tweeted that she was grateful she didn't eat the food and said it was super weird seeing her name written on that bag like that. Why would anyone taking an order add a name like that? She also posted another tweet saying she didn't even feel safe ordering food anymore and that she'd never buy from Outback Steakhouse again. "I don't care how long it takes to get an Outback," she said. "I will never eat from Outback ever again." And honestly, I don't blame her, because why did those employees even need to know they were preparing food for Nicki Minaj? That sounds way too risky. And if someone wanted to, they could have easily slipped something into her food without her ever knowing. Of course, the internet had mixed reactions, but a lot of people supported her. Like this person who said, "Y'all call Nicki crazy, but she's seen way more than we ever have. After everything with Diddy, I wouldn't put anything past anyone." Another person said, "Even if it wasn't poison, the fact that she's worried about that says everything we need to know. They're definitely after her." But now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this whole situation with Nicki almost getting poisoned? And do you believe that Diddy and Meek are behind this setup? Let me know your thoughts down below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video I just dropped.